Hey folks, welcome to Just a Guy DIY, where this week I'm going to build a garden bed right here. Let's get started. So before I get started with building, I wanted to ramble on a little bit about some information I think you guys should know. Now, all of the work I did going into this project, all the research and all of that, was something I had done before with this garden bed. We're doing the exact same process this time around, down to the same stones. We liked how those looked, and we wanted this new garden to match it because it's like right next to it. So we had to do a little math. We had to figure out how big this garden bed area was going to be, and then we had to see the size of the stones we had, and then do some math, figure out how many we'd need, and how tall we wanted it to be. So that's really important to keep in mind. You don't want to find out you went to your hardware store, bought that's like 40 stones right there, and realize you're short and have to go back to pick up, I don't know, say 40 more. It's a lot of work to lug those things back and forth. Also, the last time around we bought a whole bunch of dirt, topsoil, from a local garden area, and we over purchased, which is actually why I'm building this secondary garden bed, because we have so much of this dirt left over, and we wanted to add to the garden anyway. So that's a great way to use up that dirt and add more to our garden. We also have some potting soil. The topsoil is great to fill the garden, but it not really nutritious for plants. So we're going to do something called the lasagna method. We're going to layer some of the topsoil, then do the potting soil, topsoil, potting soil, to really help the soil and dirt be nutritious for anything we plant in there. And as you guys can see, we'll see, this once again isn't a difficult task, a difficult project. It's a little bit laborious, but it's not hard, and it's a ton of fun. So with all that in mind, let's get going. So before I start laying the stones down, I have to prep this land. And what I mean by that is I need to kind of level it out. Now, where I'm standing all the way up through the front of the house was some sidewalk that I had recently covered with some dirt, and I'm gonna put some grass seed down. So it's a little flatter, and then right here was just dirt. That's a little bit of a hill. So I need to make that as level as possible so the stones lay flat and evenly, so they're not all crooked when I place them. Now I'm going to be using this, which is a tiller, which is just going to help me kind of loosen the land, loosen the dirt up a little so it's easier to move. And then I'm also going to use a crowbar here. You're supposed to use something called a tamper, which kind of helps you stop the ground flat, but I don't own one, and I won't be needing it for anything else, so I'd rather just use this and make do with what I have instead of going to buy something else. Okay, so now that I have this land tilled up, actually while I was doing that, I came across some tulip bulbs that the previous owner must have planted there. I hadn't seen them there before. I've never seen any tulips grow, so that's pretty cool. I'm going to see what I can do with these in another part of the yard somewhere else on another day. But now that this land is all tilled, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring 10 stones, the first layer of stones, over and lay them out so I have an idea of exactly where it's going to set. And then from there, I'm going to tamp the ground beneath where those stones are, because that's really the most important part, where that's going to be level. And then we'll move on from there. Let's go. Okay folks, so now that I have the bottom layer set up, it's time to take some landscape fabric and lay it across the bottom so no weeds or other grass or other plants try to grow up through the bottom of our garden. I'm actually going to do that 2 times. I'm going to put a layer of landscape fabric down at the bottom, and And then just to keep everything contained, once I build up the garden, I'm gonna put a layer around the inside, kind of like a bowl. You guys will understand when you see it. So let's get to the landscape fabric. So the first bit of landscape fabric is in. I had to cut a few pieces to go around this gas pipe here, but it's really easy. But it's really important. It helps maintain the integrity of your garden and the actual bed itself. Because if you have too many weeds and stuff growing up and out, it could push the stones or whatever you're using out of the way. It can make it look uneven. So it's a simple step, but it's a really, really important one. You don't want to forget it. Now the next step is to take the rest of the stones and build the garden up. So let's get to it. Okay, folks. So as I finish up stacking these stones, I want to talk to you about them. Well, I really should be calling them like cinder blocks or bricks. That's really what they are. They're poured brick. They each have different designs up front, so it gives your garden bed or rock wall, whatever you build, a nice design without doing too much work with stacking individual stones. And what I think is so cool about these is on one end you have this kind of curved part, so you can have like a rounded garden bed or stone wall, which is nifty. And then on the other end here has just like a stacked stone look. So how we have it, like a 90 degree, it still looks nice. Okay, folks. As I sit down in the shade here and hydrate a little, I'm gonna run down the next few steps. So what I have to do next is take some more landscape fabric and line the inside of the garden bed as like a barrier. As I said before, that's gonna help prevent weeds growing out through the stones and ruining the structural integrity. It helps out a little bit like that. And then after that, I'm gonna take the dirt and fill it. And then once I do that, I'm gonna take the top stones we have and do a layer of top stone. And then that's it. That's gonna be the end there. But it's still a lot of work to get done. So let's get to it. All right, folks, the garden bed is complete. Now, that was the main chunk of the project for today. Now, the last part of any project that often gets overlooked, and for this particular project I've been looking forward to, is the cleanup. Now, behind me, that's where we had the tarp with all the dirt and all those stones and the potting soil stacked up. So it got a little dirty. That tarp has been sitting here for 2, maybe 3 months with that dirt, and so it's just so dusty and dirty. So I'm really looking forward to sweeping and hosing out this driveway, and I hope you folks enjoy watching it too. I'm gonna get to it. Well, folks, here you have it. A garden bed made out of cement bricks, stones, whatever you want to call them, in just a day. That was a long day, but really satisfying. I love this project. It's great. I really enjoy it because it really has a long life. You know, it's gonna look good for a long time, and honestly, we can change it up a little every year depending on what we put into the garden. The plan for right now is, I believe, an herb garden, which I think would be pretty cool. I can keep you guys up to date on that, and I'm glad that I was able to get it done pretty quickly. And as I said, it's something I've been looking to do for a long time. It's been a long time coming. That dirt has been sitting there for a while. I ran into a little trouble getting those bricks. So after we got them, I was glad to get it done. And I'm honestly, my favorite part of the whole thing was cleaning up at the end. As I said, that was something I've been looking forward to ever since the dirt arrived. Now, I know I used a ton of water cleaning up that driveway. So normally I'd cool off with either maybe like a cold beer or a cool shower, but I've something a little different in mind today. It's gonna be fun, and we'll see. I hope you guys enjoyed the project. As I said, I really enjoyed it. Comment below and let me know what you guys think. Was that something you would try, or, well, was it a little much for you? I know it's a lot of work, you know, drenched in sweat, but sometimes those are the best. Let's cool off. Until next time, thanks for watching.